Death Stranding 2 releases to thunderous applause. Thunderous! Universal acclaim. Being praised for great storytelling, improvements in graphics and gameplay. And more Kojima weirdness. What is that? Everyone loves it. Almost everyone. So close, Kojima. Yep, turns out one guy just hates the way women are portrayed in this game. Disgusting! Let's talk about it. A few days ago, the reviews came out and they were high, really high. IGN gave it a 9, saying, "It's an inventive journey packed full of both shock and awe, and never once strayed from the path less trodden." I'm filled with confidence, boys. IGN gave it a 9. Wait, the same score they gave Veilguard. Can't be the same person, right? No. Different person, thank goodness. Still means nothing though, coming from them, right? Screen Rant gave it a 10 out of 10, saying, "Death Stranding 2 is emotional and fascinating from the outset, and its journey I will continue to cherish as an improvement on what was already one of my favorite games." Okay. Interesting, but it doesn't tell me what I need to know. The most important thing in gaming, is it diverse enough? If I don't know these things, then how am I supposed to make a well-informed decision? Come on, Screen Rant, you're better than that. I'm also a bit confused. The game has a con. Minor world-building concessions were made for the sake of improved gameplay. Then it's not a 10 out of 10, is it? It's more like a 9.8 out of 10. It's almost perfect, but not quite. Kotaku gave it a... No one cares what Kotaku thinks, so moving swiftly on. Eurogamer gave it a 4 out of 5, saying, well, glazing Kojima a little too much, so much so that I think he might have missed his calling in a different career. He's not just modern video games postmodern prophet and art stylist, he has become its preeminent sentimentalist. God damn, come up for air, brother! You're gonna choke to death. It's actually crazy how many 100 out of 100s this game is getting. Kojima is probably gonna have a fit. He gets off on being polarizing, he wants to upset people. He's not truly happy until someone isn't having fun with his game, you know? Then you get to the bottom of the Metacritic reviews and, well, some of them catch your eye. IGN France gives it a 60 and drops a diabolical review saying Death Stranding 2 isn't a bad game. Weird thing to say after giving it a 60, but it disappoints precisely where the first one was astonishing by leveling out difficulty, rendering the journey anodyne. Fancy word, take me seriously. Watering down what made the original game a tough, unforgettable experience. Here, Kojima seems to have given in to the temptation of comfort and past criticism, delivering a game that is more accessible but less meaningful, far from extending his vision. On the Beach seems to mark his running out of steam. Oh no. No. That's a bold thing to say about Kojima. Bold thing to say. Do you ever get the sense with reviewers that once all the other reviews come out and they see what everyone else said, they cringe a little? This game sucks! What was he thinking? Oh no, please. Ah, shit, hundreds! Perfect scores! I'm cucked. Their ego probably doesn't allow for that though. IGN France is also the fine establishment that thought Stellar Blade was actually killing women. So definitely a place I'm gonna trust for gaming opinions. Oh man, but does it not compare to the absolute stupidity from the Gamestop review? Questionable tropes around women. Let's read this and unpack this a little, shall we? This obsession with honouring past legacy also carries the baggage of some of the series' worst tropes, particularly around the portrayal of women, which the first game was also guilty of. I doubt that this person can even define what a woman is. Let's be honest with ourselves here. Whilst I can't speak with authority about some of the sequel's plotlines, including one involving a phenomenon around childbirth, some scenes cause an exhausting deja vu. There's an unskippable photography minigame featuring 3 women posing in front of the camera. You can't be serious. The horror! Someone check on this man. Man's a bit of a stretch, but someone probably should check on him. As well as a central character who often takes her shoes off as crew members make a running commentary about this habit. Not talking about feet. 3D photorealism was always going to be dangerous in Kojima's hands. Oh yeah. The camera pans during cutscenes aren't as excessive as, say, the treatment around Quiet in Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. Who is this Quiet you speak of? Glasses. Let's take a look, shall we? Oh my goodness! Kojima's a genius! Maybe I finally need to play the Metal Gear Solid series, huh? For no particular reason. I'm not really a big fan of stealth games or military games, so the series has just never really interested me. But I might be a fan now. Oh, shut up. But it all feels unnecessary, and since you're witnessing photorealistic depictions of real-life actors, it can slip into being a bit weird. I'm sure looking at the female body does trigger strange feelings for this guy. I imagine it repulses him. Is he a him? There it is on his bio, just in case you couldn't tell. This isn't like a massive game journalist propaganda campaign that we've seen in the past, like with Black Myth. This is just one guy. So it's not like this big thing, but my issue with this is that there's people like this who are games journalists who have the power to influence a review score. Meaningless to us, yes, but to game studios, they're desperate for high scores. These people are so pathetically beholden to their ideology that they can't see past it. And they start seeing things attacking their ideology when that's not the case. It's the same thing they accuse guys like us of, right? Oh, you see woke where it's not. You're seeing things. And that may be true sometimes, maybe I do. But this is definitely what's happened here. And the goal with feedback like this is to affect how women are portrayed in games. It's a message. You better not follow those tropes, or you're getting a bad review. Yes you are. Because this isn't gameplay improvements. This isn't a critique of the story, of character, of art design, of level design, world building, combat. It's nothing like that. It's a complaint that this fictitious world isn't portraying women as you want them to be portrayed. It's a social political bias. And you can say, wait, hold up, isn't that what you do when you call things woke? The difference is there is a clear correlation with things being woke and things being bad. Just look at Marvel. It affects storytelling, character design, censorship, creative freedom. With this case, it's not affecting story. It's just women posing and taking off their shoes. It didn't affect their character, didn't affect story, didn't affect gameplay. So it's clearly a bias that this person has. The ironic thing with this is that Kojima is a leftist, being a member of the Japanese Communist Party. Whether he's a leftist by Western standards? Probably more so center-left. I don't think Kojima has ever bowed down to the woke ideology. There is a difference between being a leftist and a far-left woke activist, right? I bring this up because it's never enough. Being more left-thinking isn't enough. You have to be all into the far-left ideology. Or you get cases like this where they can't see past things like feet. And 7 isn't a good review from games journalists. It's basically a nothing score. You look at the rest of the cons he gave and they're so weak. Repetitive story beats, focus on weapons and spectacle detracts from uniqueness. I'm playing through the first game right now and I'm telling you that's exactly what the game needed. The first 10 hours of that game, man, is it a slog. Friction is lost, rendering some challenges superficial. The tropes thing and boss fights are unimaginative. Now, I haven't played the game. I used up all of my white male privilege on a 20% discount on Uber Eats this week. So forgive me, I didn't get an early copy. So I can't really say anything about the game. What I can say is that these cons are so base level and so superficial. This guy may as well have not tried to articulate any sort of opinion. In fact, he needs a change of career. I personally believe that letting their ideology influence them this much means they're just too biased and can't look at things without comparing them to this ideology. They want everything to mirror this ideology, and when something doesn't mirror it down to the exact minute detail, then it's the end of the world. If you can't put your biases aside, then you shouldn't be in games journalism. But as we know, games journalists can't do that. They're all out here pushing agendas. Everything needs to represent them and include them. Some journalists are obviously more extreme than others because this guy is on his own here, abandoned by his colleagues, who he probably thought would write the same nonsense. I also personally believe that everyone should have the right to believe in what they want to believe in. Left wing, right wing, whatever other wings there are. Everyone has a reason for their beliefs. It doesn't bother me if a creator is left wing. J.K. Rowling is my favorite author. I love Harry Potter, as I'm sure you've noticed. Right there. But J.K. Rowling is left-wing and there are progressive themes in Harry Potter. But it never affects the story. You're not being lectured. Characters are actual characters. Nothing is sacrificed for the sake of a political agenda. Kojima's the same. His games have progressive undertones. And his games are great. There's a reason his games have left the cultural footprint that they have. I guess they're great. I'm basing this off research. Everyone seems to love them. From what I can tell, they must be good. It's getting a remake. It's a popular series, okay? So just because something is progressive doesn't make it woke. Just because women aren't portrayed in your male feminist far-left ideological girl boss way doesn't mean it's misogynistic or the views on women are outdated. Creators should be free to make whatever they want without worry of being censored or cancelled or low review scores. No ideology should be forcing their beliefs onto everyone, into every piece of media, sacrificing story, characters, gameplay, character design, any of that, which is why why I can't stand people like this. Games with no political agendas. Please, games industry, just do that. That's all we want. And don't listen to people like Diego here. And yes, that means go ahead and make games like Dustborn and Concord. I'll be right there to make fun of it. Hey, I said people should be free to believe in whatever they want to believe in. Doesn't mean I can't think it's dumb or make fun of it. Just leave the existing IPs alone. Thanks for watching, boys. I would have liked to talk about Death Stranding 2 and do a little review, but I can't really find the time to play anything right now. By the time I finish this like 30-40 hour game, it would just be too late. It would just be too late. I'm gonna try something new soon just to be more in touch with you guys because I like hearing your opinions about games. And there is so much news that I want to get your opinions on because I can't cover it all. I do 2 videos a week. So we'll try it. If it doesn't work out, we'll move on. See you in the next one, boys.